rotten recruit or robbery recruit, you know.
It worked! I got the angle to work!
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go!
fucking rip
Hey, what's up guys, Frozen here, and today I'm going to show you guys a couple of angles that, these are not new. However, the premise of it, you guys just saw in that first opening clip, is you just shoot a couple bullets into a wall, and then you peek through it. They're very, very hard to see from the other side. I will demonstrate that right now. So what you do, shoot a couple bullets in the wall, like this, and you're over here. This is a really hard angle to see, versus if you do it from somewhere else. Like, a punch hole, really easy to notice. You're going to see that every single time. But if you want to hold the same angle like onto the garage, say, if you don't shoot the support beams, you can hold a little angle through here. And as long as you don't make the wall go too far, you're going to see the punch hole, but the bullet holes are going to be way less noticeable. So today I thought I'd show you some of my favorite uses of this, and I did not find this. So I believe Serenity used this about a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, and it's really intelligent. Like, it's really good, but nobody really uses it. So one of my favorite ways to use it is, say you planted the bomb over here and you got to hold the meeting. What some people will do is they'll do one of two things. Some people at higher levels will open a hole up here with like Buck or Sledge or Ash or whoever they want to use. And what they'll do is they will watch from above. They'll watch like this angle. And this can be good when they don't expect it. However, it is pretty easy to counter because it is very noticeable. It isn't exactly the stealthiest thing in the world. So if you're coming up the stairs, you will see this giant hole, and you still can win that firefight. But what I like to do instead is to go over to this wall over here, and all you have to do is do a little burst into this wall, and if you line it up right, that's the door. So if anyone comes through the door, you can shoot them. And if you make a punch hole, it does the same effect, except it's way more noticeable. So all you gotta do is just shoot a little hole in the wall, and then now you have line of sight on that door. And it is way, way better than holding that punch hole, because from back here, even if you have an ACOG and you're like, saying you're playing Rook or something, you're flanking, you see that punch hole, you'll shoot it. You're not gonna see this little these bullet holes right there. I even looked at the wrong one. Those are the holes you're gonna get shot through, and you're basically never gonna counter that. Another place that I really like that, and another benefit of this as well, is the fact that you hold this angle. Instead of being up in the attic, if you guys need help back on site, you simply turn around and you deal with anybody behind you. Another way you can use this for rotation holds is that people will also just do like a punch hole right here. Same premise, just like you can go prone, shoot bullet holes, and just wait. And they're probably never going to see it. The only thing you do need to be aware of doing this strat is to not make them too big. Otherwise, you will do like, you'll have the impact hole around the other side that you may not know about, and that will give you away. Like this, not so much because it's on your side, but if you do it right or wrong, sometimes this part of the wall will impact before this part over here, and then they'll see you and probably shoot you anyway. So if you're flanking this, that punch hole is way more noticeable versus this little foothold. This one is really big. You can do this as an attacker with about one bullet, mostly because your rifles are much higher caliber. So all you have to really do is like shoot like a few bullets over here like this, and now you have the angle versus over here I just shot way more. And you don't even have to shoot very much. So I'm going to show you guys one other map on Bank that I believe this is going to be really, really useful on. So I will go to that right now. Okay, so now we are on Bank, and for this first one, this one's not the best because you will most likely, this wall gets pre-fired quite a lot. What you can do is just shoot some holes in the wall. If you're playing Alibi in particular, her Karatos, or the Rhino as I call it, is really good for this just because the holes you make are way bigger and easier to see through. And if you want to disguise your hole a little bit better, just shoot up the wall, like in general, just around. And that's going to disguise your little murder hole a little bit better. That hole is just dangerous to do because even though people peek this consistently, it is just, people pre-fire this wall a lot, which is why you usually reinforce it. But as you can see, if anyone peeks this window, they're most likely just going to get shot by you. If you're playing an ACOG, like on Rook or Dock, which, or Maestro, or even Echo, you can get really long angles onto people. Like back here, it's pretty hard to see, but you can kill people behind this car that are unsuspecting. However, like I said, this wall gets opened quite a bit, so just be careful about it, which is why this spot isn't the best. But as you can see their heads back behind that car, which is quite nice. Another spot that this works really well on is watching the blue stairs. You can do this as an attacker or a defender, it doesn't really matter. All you gotta do is walk up to this little sign and then shoot some holes right over here. And if you do it right, you can see this is the top of blue, and as soon as you see movement, you just start spraying to the wall. On this part, I did it wrong. As you can see, I was talking about this before. If you open it like this, you will draw a little bit more attention to it. However, it isn't super noticeable still. It just looks like a couple, like someone was trying to pre-fire through the wall. But as you can see, if somebody's at the top of these stairs, they are very, very visible. And one problem I have with a lot of angles like this is that they're really, really narrow, and it's hard to actually get kills from them. But like, you'll see, like, okay, hold this insanely tight pixel peak. But it's somewhat hard to get kills from those. But with these, you have a lot of view, but it's the enemies that have the hard time shooting you. Because you're closer to the hole than they are, and especially without an ACOG, it's going to be really hard. And that's a nice little rotation watch, depending on, like, say I don't know, this is a good rotation watch in general, or it's good as a defender, trying to sneak up and watch anybody trying to come out of there. Another one I really like, and this one's a really good rotation watch, is if, say, you plant it over here. One of the spots I like to do, and I think has a lot of potential to be very hard to counter, especially if you're playing like Buck or Sledge. You can open this corner, and even if you don't have to, it's just a little bit faster to get around. What you can do is you can just shoot a couple holes in this wall, and you can do it really quickly, and now you have a perfect line of sight onto this door, and no one's gonna get past you. It's so hard to see this angle. As you can see the decoy perfectly well, and even if you run past it, you can still get seen, and you're most likely not gonna get someone running past like that without getting killed. This works when you're attacking the basement as well. If you want to pinch people in open area, if they decide to fall back, they're not going to counter this. And that's the beauty of these holes. They're just really, really easy to do. And they have a huge benefit for you, at least. Especially because you're not going to die. And now, one more that I want to show off. This is experimental. I haven't tried this in an actual game yet. However, I do believe that this can work as a spawn peak. And it's not like 100% a spawn peak, so to say, but it's a really long angle that is going to be really hard to see. As you can see, those are the front doors of the bank. You can see people coming in, and if you're playing like an ACOG, like Rook, you're going to be able to tap them, and maybe if they're playing Glass, they'll kill you. But either way, they're not gonna look. They're most likely not gonna look in that corner. If they don't have an ACOG, they're never gonna see you there. But you can see them when they're pushing through this door. It's just this angle. I do want to see somebody actually shot that on accident. But I do want to see somebody actually get this to work. But yeah, that is it for this video. Be creative with these holes you can make. Like I said, I did not come up with the idea of using them. Serenity did, and probably someone else has used it before. But I haven't seen anybody else, or anybody in general, ever really using these angles, and I think that's not a good thing. I think these are really, really useful. So that is it for this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.